It is 11 months since Eldad Goldwasser and Eldad Regev were brutally kidnapped by the Hizbullah on what was to be their last day patrolling the northern border. In a meticulously planned attack, Hizbullah gunmen infiltrated into Israel and fired anti-tank rockets at the IDF patrol near Moshav Zarit in the western Galilee, killing 3 soldiers and abducting 2. A tank sent to search for the abducted men triggered a large explosive device and 4 soldiers were killed. Under heavy fire, IDF troops retrieved the bodies of the 4 soldiers. An 8th soldier, part of the search and rescue team, was killed in ensuing clashes with Hizbullah. Almost a year later, sitting in the couple's modest 3rd-floor apartment, Udi's wife Karnit has not given up hope and insists that her husband will return home. Yet her eyes tell the whole story: exhaustion, sadness and hope all rolled into one. Whenever she recalls Udi's name, she smiles, remembering that fateful day when she received news that her husband had been captured. Karnit says,
July 12th, this was the day that changed our lives. Udi was supposed to be back home on that day.
Straight away she called the Regev family and told them she was not going to give up until Udi and Eldad are brought home.
The second thing that I did was to ring to the Schalit family and I told them the same.
Ever since, Karnit and Udi's parents, together with the Regev and Schalit families, have traveled the world, meeting leaders, government officials, anyone and everyone who may be able to assist, intervene and gain access to the soldiers.
We're trying to convince Nasrallah eventually. We can't do it directly, so we're trying to look for people who can have the influence on him and could explain him how it's important for this region, for his country, to end this conflict.
Hizbullah till now has refused all requests to allow Red Cross officials visit the soldiers and has steadfastly refused to reveal even the tiniest piece of information or details on their condition, other than confirming that the 2 soldiers are in their hands. Every few weeks, Hizbullah leader Sheikh Hassan Nasrallah toys with world media, hinting that negotiations are underway for a prisoner exchange that will lead to Udi and Eldad's release. But as always, Nasrallah's mind games serve only his followers.
And the beginning of the end will be the moment we will get the sign of life.
Some months ago at the UN building in New York, Karnit tried to talk to the Lebanese president in an attempt to convince him to intervene.
He is the president of Lebanon. I met him in the UN building. I talked to him, I tried to talk to him, I tried to explain him the situation.
Karnit hopes that her efforts will eventually lead her to the person who will succeed in seeing her husband, or as she describes it, the key that will unlock the door.
I don't want to encourage myself anymore. I want to encourage him, my husband. And to encourage him, it will be only by the one that can have the key to go to him, to my husband, to Udi, and to tell him that it's going to be okay and he's going to go back home.
At the end of the Second Lebanon War, Karnit was sure her husband would be freed in a prisoner exchange. The past year has been both lonely and frightening.
We are living almost a year in the dark. No news, no one till today have the ability to access them, to see if they are okay, to see if they have a glass of water, to check if they got the right medical care, to see if a doctor could visit them.
Last August, Prime Minister Ehud Olmert appointed former Deputy Director of the Shin Bet, Ofer Dekel, to act as his special representative regarding the return of the 3 soldiers, Gilad, Schalit, Eldad Goldwasser and Eldad Regev.
You know, for this tango you need to. I know that my government and the Prime Minister put this in the top priority. I'm not going to let them forget this issue. This is the main issue of Israel right now. The strength is from him. This smile, I want this smile again. And whenever I'm talked about him and whenever I look to him, I start to smile. This is in the bad days.
Life hasn't been easy, says Karnit. Once the couple's home was a happy place.
It's not a regular home. It's one-person home. till July 12th, I was cooking, and I had a kind of a family. I had my husband and my cats, 2 cats and 1 dog. Right now it's only me and the dog.
The couple met 10 years ago and decided to get married in October 2005.
I met him 10 years ago, and after 8 years of being together as a couple, as a partners, after 6 or 7 years of sharing an apartment, we decided to get married. And 10 months after the marriage, and after being married, he was kidnapped.
When Udi was called to reserve duty, the couple were pleased when they found out he would serve in the north.
Udi did Miluim for 10 years, and this was his first time after being in compulsory army. This was his first time to be a nurse of Israel. So we were so happy when we heard that he's going to be a nurse of Israel, because we are from the north.
Sadly, says Karnit, she was proven wrong.
I was wrong, and it's not just me, it's the whole country that was wrong, because those 6 years since Israel withdrew from Lebanon, we invested our money and efforts in education and in B&B and in the good things that can raise us as a country up. But unfortunately, Lebanon invests the same money in bullets and guns.
A recent article published in Yediot Ahronot said the chances that Udi and Eldad are still alive are extremely slim because of the rockets that hit their jeep and the blood trails found on the ground. The report says Karnit is not new, as similar information was published in December. It is wrong, she insists, to make such assumptions based simply on the findings at the site.
I'm always saying that Israel is assuming that by kidnapping them they might be hurt. No one knows if it's right or wrong, because there is no information.
Next month it will be exactly a year since Udi and Eldad were abducted, but Karnit vows that she will not let the world forget.
To not let them, for a slice of a moment, to forget that in Lebanon there is 2 Israeli soldiers, and in Gaza there is 1 Israeli soldier. 3 young people that are not at home right now.